Up next is The Future Is Now, where we look into the future and tell you what will happen. Now, Zach will at some point in time spin a wheel of 31 teams to determine who his next team to support will be, but that will not be for today. During this segment, we will be discussing the games of Week 8 next week and telling you who will win. Up first, we have tonight's game. For you, it's probably yesterday. So we're going to be wrong on this one. Just be kind to us, okay? Saints and Seahawks Monday Night Football. Now, the Saints have alternated playing very well and playing horrifically bad. Here's the problem. They just had a bye week, which completely throws everything off. Does that count as a game? Does that not count as a game? This ruins our superstitious and non-facts-based metric, so we have no idea what's going to happen, but we're going to assume that counted last week. So we're going to say Saints win.
Next up, we have the Packers-Cardinals. This is going to be Thursday Night Football. And as I was saying earlier in the podcast, I'm actually going to take the Packers over the Cardinals. I think that the Cardinals are going to find a way to let the Packers linger around just a little bit too much. And even though the Packers are missing Devontae Adams, by the way, he has COVID. Those of you who don't know, just happened today during the podcast. More important breaking news than Joe Flacco's trade.
I would argue against that.
We'll see next week. We'll see.
We'll see next week. You're right.
Hot take: get vaccinated, kids.
If the Jets win, then yeah, it's a big situation. But with that said, Packers beat Cardinals, stop them from being undefeated on the year.
Next up, we have the Panthers, not the Packers. The Packers just talking about the Packers, the Panthers and the Falcons. And then Rob, if we could get some nice violin music going here.
We'll consider when I'm editing.
This podcast is finally abandoning the Panthers. The world's smallest violin playing right now and calling the Falcons to win this one. I mean, from my perspective, I think the Falcons are starting to gel at the right time. That offense is starting to put the pieces together. Cordell Patterson looking great. Kyle Pitts looking great. Calvin Ridley needs to get his stuff together. But Falcons are going to take this one. And until Christian McCaffrey comes back, I am not going to pick the Panthers for a single game.
Up next, we have Titans and Colts. The Colts are known for running the football, but Derrick Henry is known for running the football. I don't see the Colts outrunning them. I don't see Wentz out passing. I don't see their receivers out catching. Don't get me wrong, the Colts are an up-and-coming team, but the Titans just beat the Buffalo Bills and blew out Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Sorry, Colts, this just ain't happening, not even in Indy. Titans win.
Dolphins, Bills. I think the Finns are going to continue to just be terrible, and I fully expect them to get blown out by the Bills. I think the bye week's going to do wonders for the Bills, and they're going to be able to stay more consistent. I also think, maybe a hot take, maybe not a hot take, depending on who you are, I think Tua gets traded this week. At least I hope Tua gets traded this week, either before or after this game. I love Tua. I don't think he's going to find success in Miami as long as Brian Flores and Will Grier are there. So I am taking Buffalo, and the resulting action will be Tua getting traded.
Unfortunately, Joe Flacco is now off the market.
Speaking of which, we have Bengals Jets. Now, hot take. Come on. Zach Wilson is out. And then here comes Mike White. Psych! It's Joe Flacco. And it's always been Joe Flacco. He belongs on the Jets. They're in shambles. They just lost. They just gave up 54 points to, I would describe New England as a ball control offense. They just gave up 54 points to a ball control offense. Their defense is in shambles. Their offense is in shambles. Their organization is in shambles, and they have been for the past decade. Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, they're going to eat them alive. Go Bengals.
Up next, Steelers and Browns. Now, normally I would very definitively say the Browns. However, those injury concerns are a bit too much. Instead of the Browns going 2-0 against the Steelers this season, I think due to all of their issues, they will go 1-1. I think the Steelers will snag this game before the Browns are able to get healthy.
Eagles, Lions. We got a second bar joke for you guys tonight. Two awful teams go to a bar. They both fall short of the bar they need to be worth watching. Lions over Eagles.
Ooh, that is a hot take.
I'm taking it. Lions over Eagles for sure.
If
man.
Lions are
Eagles,
going to get their first win, I mean, let's be
it's
honest.
going to be against the Eagles. Yeah, no, seriously. I believe that. I say what I mean, man. I believe it.
All right. Next, we've got Rams, Texans. Actually, so if you look at some of the next gen stats for Davis Mills, it's that he loses games. So I don't think this is worth a segment. I mean, everyone's got the Rams winning here. If the Texans win, I'll eat a shoe.
That's a dangerous thing to say in the NFL,
I
but
know,
I'll allow
I know.
I'll allow it.
I maintain that I get to specify what material the shoe is made of, but yes,
a gummy
all the way
shoe.
here.
49ers, Bears. The Bears look terrible. The 49ers look terrible. The Bears' rushing attack is the only thing that makes their team look okay. The 49ers' rushing attack is the only thing that makes them look okay. Neither team is going to make the playoffs. Both of their quarterbacks are turnover machines who have struggled against defenses. Can they both lose? Can I call like them? Is that allowed?
You can have ties.
I think it's a
we can
tie,
tie the game. Yeah.
Honestly, like I would call a tie, but if one had to win, I think the Bears' defense is better, and with their rushing attack, I don't know. Maybe it's like 0-2 is the final score. Bears win 0. That's what I'm calling. Bears win 0-2.
So, question on that: if and as of this podcast, Kyle Shanahan has announced that Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter. Now, knowing Kyle Shanahan, he could play one snap and then he could put in Trey Lance to say, I'm Kyle Shanahan and I'm smarter than everybody else. If Trey Lance plays, you're still picking the Bears.
Yeah, I'm picking the Bears 1-2. The 49ers are only going to get an extra point. I don't know how that's going to happen.
An extra point.
They're going to figure it out. Either way, I just don't care about this game. This is this week's Battle of the Bads. Like
we're going to move on to the Patriots Chargers. Get away from this. Mac Jones is in my opinion second to Trevor Lawrence among this year's rookies. I know Sergi over here is in love with Mac Jones, Mr. McCorkle himself.
Baby.
McCorkle himself. But with that said, I don't think Mac Jones is good enough to beat Justin Herbert and that defense yet. You know, the defense isn't amazing, but it's better than that Patriots offense. So I'm going to be going Chargers over Pats.
All right, next we've got Jaguars versus Seahawks. And normally this would be a gimme, but Russell Wilson has got a big bad boo-boo on his finger. This was a tough one for me. I had to dig deep, but I just think there's too many injuries on the Seahawks right now, especially with Russell Wilson out. The defense just gave up. You know, we haven't watched the game tonight yet. We haven't seen what the Saints do to the Seattle defense. They just gave up 23 points to a pretty inept Steelers offense. Mm-hmm. I don't think any team starting Geno Smith inspires confidence. I think without Russell Wilson, Trevor Lawrence and the Jags are going to get the win. If it's not Trevor Lawrence, it's going to be James Robinson just running over the entire city of Seattle because that guy knows how to carry a rock.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I don't even know if that's a hot take. Up next, Buccaneers at Saints. I mean, if Tampa Bay is going to be dominating teams without Rob Gronkowski and without Antonio Brown, my God, what are they going to do when they get him back? I have Bucs winning this one. I don't see the Saints beating the Bucs this year.
Next up, we have the near and dear Washington, the Dan Snyder organization. I'm done with football team. They're not a football team. They're a garbage disposal. That's what it is. It's just awful, trash, terrible. I need to move on from that. Sorry, guys. The Washington football team versus the Broncos. The Broncos had to move on, man. I'm still hurt. The Broncos are bad. Jeff, I know you listen to the podcast. I love you, man. They suck. But they're not as bad as Washington football. Initially, I was going to choose Washington football over the Broncos, but I'm changing my mind because Jerry Jeudy comes back this week, and that is the exact type of receiver that eats Washington alive. He's like Terry McLaurin, but, you know, with a worse defense going against him. So going Broncos over football team, that's what I said. I said what I meant.
All right, next we've got Cowboys Vikings. Now, this is a game I am excited for because here's the thing: people are going to pick people are going to pick the Cowboys, you know, right off the bat. But the Vikings are actually a surprisingly great team. I think they're one of the most complete teams in the NFL. I mean, their secondary is a little lackluster, but around the board, decent offensive line, great receivers, great running back, great defensive line, decent linebackers. Their losses this year, they lost to the Bengals, who are a real deal team, by 1 score. Cardinals by 1 score. They lost to the Browns by 1 score. I really think they could come in.
Oh,
Wait.
Sergi, yeah, this is a primetime game.
Oh, it's a primetime game?
Yeah, it's prime time.
Okay, yeah, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah, Cowboys by a mile.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
And finally, we have Giants and Chiefs. You all know that I love ending this segment with a bang. Get ready, because here comes a piping hot take.
Oh,
The
just read
Giants are going to upset the Chiefs.
Woo!
I'm telling you right now, I don't care. The Giants are on an upswing. They have some momentum. The Chiefs have a formula of how to beat them. The Giants are getting a lot of their stars back. We don't even know if Mahomes' head is going to be in the right place. I mean that both figuratively and literally. Do not be surprised if in prime time the Giants pull up an upset. And if they do, we can officially call the Chiefs exposed. Piping hot take, hot off the press. Read all about it.
But are you willing to eat a shoe is the real question.
I'm not going to eat a shoe, Sergi. We're just different people that way. You
Okay,
know?
okay. You know,
don't some people have to like put an asterisk and be like, this isn't the opinion of my company. This is my opinion.
This is not an opinion of the U.S. government. This is the opinion of Rob Sutsky.
This is not a unanimously agreed upon opinion. This is my personal opinion. I have the Giants beating the Chefs. Piping hot take. Let's get it.